Welcome to the Lifestyle Podcast. My name is Coach. It's a pleasure to have you guys here with us. In this series, we are getting ready to go from the very roots, the foundation of everything, the core of everything, into the present time. So, our first segment today is called What is Love? Why is love important? Why is it the root of everything? If you have any project that you're building on, especially a house, and your foundation isn't solid, no matter how much you build on top of it, it'll come crumbling down. So, without further ado, I want to say my first experience with the title, What is Love? When I was younger. Growing up in a Caribbean family, I want to say we didn't really express the word love inside of our household a lot. We knew each other, we loved each other, we knew that, my mom cared for me and my siblings were one. But if you're walking around saying, I love you, we're kind of wondering, is somebody dying? Why are we being so serious? Like, what's really happening now, right? So my idea really shaped from like TV shows and seeing Family Matters, Sister to Sisters. I kind of had like a fairy tale perception on love because that's where it first got started. So when I went into the world and actually tried that TV fairy tale type of love, just know it was nothing like what I seen on TV. The experience shaped me. It kind of set the foundation on how I dealt with people, how I moved in business, how I moved with my children. That idea stayed with me through every single part of my life. And it's crazy because for me to have such a strong connection with something, I believe it's important to know the actual definition, to know what is the true meaning behind it versus the meaning that I kind of gave it over time. It took me some time to separate the idea of what is love to what actually the word love means. And why? Simply because I grew with it. It shaped me. We became petty together. We formed a bond together. It was easier said than done. I've been to church. I grew up in church. I knew that they said God was love, but I didn't really understand how to make that transition from the idea that God is love to actually living in the place where I understood the foundation that God is love. I believe it's 1 John 4:16 says that God is love and that he that dwells in God also dwells in him. All right, cool. So I got it. God is love. Great. What do I do with my definition? How do I take that and make it a part of my reality? Going deeper into the word, I realized that one of the first greatest commandments that God gave you is to give God your heart, your mind, and your soul. I took a step back because from the beginning of time, God has already said, give me your heart, your mind, and your soul. Growing up, whenever I used to tell somebody I love them with everything in me. Relationships, I gave it everything in me. Motherhood, I love with everything in me. I put those emotions where they did not belong. I gave the weight of something that was meant for God to people, to places, experience, to things. And those things are not able to replace God in any kind of way. So when those things, didn't carry or couldn't handle the depths of what I was putting out, I took love and gave love its own definition. God didn't tell us to give man. He didn't tell us to give our friends. He didn't tell us to give experiences, our heart, our mind, or our souls. Like he just says for us to give him those things. He is love. I am love. All right, God, I got it. You are love. Give you my heart. Give you my mind. Give you my soul. What do I do with my experience? What do I do with the days that, I cried, the days that made me happy, the moments? What do I do with my definition? How does the transition take place? One thing about God, you ever give God something and you ever take something to him in prayer, he's not going to give it back to you void. He's not going to just ignore what you're asking him. He'll actually take those things and show you why. They were never meant to be him, never meant to carry the weight, never meant to represent your definition of love. It wasn't supposed to be that. During those times of me giving him my definition, he actually healed me in the process. He taught me what it is to have a relationship with him through every season. Like whether it was sickness, family, my children, myself, he taught me that if I give him my heart, my mind, and my soul through every single season of my life, he's going to be with me. He's going to help me grow. And in that time, it healed what my definition was. So everything that I had been through, all the things that I had, had to go through, you have to go through experience. You got to have some experience. You got to have some skin in the game. So with the experiences that I had, I was able to see, dang, all that weight of me putting on my friendship, all that weight of me putting on my children, all that weight that I put on myself, there's no wonder why I got the results that I got. If I want something that's true, if I want something that is solid, if I want something that is everlasting, I got to give it to God. I got to give it to him. And by doing that, he opened up the door for me to step into a place where I could be like, okay, well, what's the second commandment? Because the first one is to give him my heart, my mind, and my soul. Now I can love my neighbor. Now I can love myself. The second commandment, I believe, is love your neighbor as you would love yourself. There's no greater commandment than these. All right, so what is it? What are the steps? What am I stepping into next? Love is patient. I had to teach myself patient, how to be patient with myself. I grew up in such a fast life. Everything was just on the go. I had to survive. I got to hustle. I got to make it work. I got to make things shake. I gotta, right? And when you're operating like that, you never really get a chance to take in the lessons that you need. You never really get a chance to soak in the growth that you need. You are constantly on survival mode. You don't really get a chance to live. Yeah, you have experiences, but it's not really living. When you put that kind of pressure on your family, the expectation becomes so heavy that you strip away who they're supposed to be and put them in a place where they have to live up to your expectations. It takes away from you actually being able to enjoy relationships because you have a certain criteria of what it's to be. Giving it back to God and taking on the definition that God gives you of love, God was patient with me. God allowed me to grow. He allowed me to make mistakes. He allowed me to see the beauty in taking my time and actually getting a chance to live and enjoy and breathe. He took me from surviving to living. So when I'm in these places where I'm learning how to be patient, now I'm not only patient with myself, but I'm patient with everyone. I'm patient with my children. I'm patient at work. I'm patient with business, patient with school. I'm able to love properly, not love according to my own definition. I'm able to be kind. Love is kind. If you grew up with island parents, if you grew up in a survival mentality, oftentimes we are very cutthroat, right? Because ain't nothing funny. ain't nothing funny, about survival mode. You kind of grew up cutthroat, kind of grew up very rough. A lot of times, especially since for me, I was very misunderstood growing up, and I was bad as well, y'all. I ain't gonna hold you. People spoke very rough to me, so I adapted that nature, and I was very rough. I had to learn how to be kind. I had to accept that God was being kind to me, that there was nothing behind it, and that he was kind because he's a kind God. I received his love. Now I can be kind. I can be patient. I can give back what he's given to me. I don't envy. Why do I have to envy when I serve a God that will give and provide everything that you need and that your heart desires according to his will? Why would you have to envy? I don't have to envy about it. I don't have to. We all have access to it. If anything, my journey is based on telling you like, hey, listen, God will give you your heart desires. Everything that the enemy is trying to dangle in front of you is actually a part of what was already predestined for you. Just like when Jesus went into the wilderness and he was fasting and, he came out after those 40 days of fasting, the devil tried to give him what he was already promised. He took him to the edge and was like, hey, I'll give you this. It was already for him. So everything that the enemy will try to like hold over your head it's already yours. You just have to be living in a place where it is true, right? Where it's based, where your foundation is based on what is true, which is God, not anything else, but based on God, so that you can step into who you're supposed to be. Let's get back into it, y'all. It's patient. Love is patient. Love is kind. It doesn't envy. It is not proud. The thing that I love about God the most is that everything that you see around us, he created. When Jesus came down here, he could have been so arrogant. He could have chosen to walk with the biggest people, walk with the biggest chip on his shoulder. He was the only righteous son, the only righteous son. There was no reason for him to be humbled. Nowadays, you give people just a little bit just a little bit. In their heads, their arrogance is just so big, that they find themselves to be bigger than the program. When you realize that you can't bribe God, there's nothing that you can give him, that he just loves you unconditionally, it's a humbling experience. It makes you realize that being humble is not a bad thing. Being humble doesn't mean that you're low. Being humble is knowing that, one, you have a God that loves you for who you are unconditionally, and that who you are is enough. That you don't have to be, you don't have to prove anything. It's such a humbling thing that you would have to experience it in order to understand how I feel about being humble. Humble is probably one of my favorite parts of the transition of understanding what is love. It's an experience that just makes you have peace no matter what situation that you're in, no matter what season you're in, no matter what you're going through. That humble feeling will get you through every single day, every single moment. But in order to get to it, in order to receive it, you got to be willing to take the definition that you once had of love in order to receive the definition that God has. Your foundation has to be set on what is true. When your foundation is set on what is true, things begin to shift. You can walk into rooms differently. You can go into business differently. You don't have to worry or have that fear of what somebody may want to do or what somebody may want to say, depending on what your definition of love is. For me, my definition used to be, I trust you as far as I could throw you. I used to walk in with just my guards. I used to just walk in with so much pre-thoughts, and it would limit me in a room. Being covered by God removes the limits. It gives you discernment. It gives you access. It gives you the peace of mind and the confidence that you need in order to move forward. That's why the foundation has to be set. That's why in this reset, you want to make sure that the foundation is based on God. Everything that I do, and I tell people all the time, don't look at me. Jesus even told you, don't look at me. I'm not good, right? The foundation teaches you that the only person that is good is God. So I don't have to live up to someone else's expectation. I can live in my truth. I can walk in my truth. That's the reset. You want to make sure that your foundation is built on God. So everything that you do you can live in your truth to it, right? You'll be patient with yourself. You'll be kind with yourself. You'll be patient with others. You'll be able to experience life, to be able to live, to stop going from survival to living. A lot of times when you hear people talk about God, they think that, oh, you're lame or you're going to let people walk all over you. God is very smart, number one. He will give you discernment. He will give you the tools that you need in order to step into your calling, to step into the place where you're supposed to be. But the fear of what you have created, of the experiences that life has shaped you to believe, is what will hold you back from reaching your destiny. One thing that I learned is the enemy is really out there to steal, kill, and destroy. From the beginning of time, his first thing was to attack love, to make people believe that love is, that it costs, that it doesn't have real value to it. The first thing that he tried to do was destroy the representation of God. Jealous, right? He makes sure that you're arrogant, that you're cocky, far from kind. He tries to make sure that when you walk into the room, that your ideas are already made before you even get a chance to really experience it. That's the first thing that he tried to do. So we're going into a place where we're not allowing him to control our lives, not allowing him to control how we feel, not allowing him to control the relationships. We are building from scratch. That doesn't mean start all over. It just means to make sure that your foundation is set from scratch. If I'm making a business idea, if I meet new people, if I'm talking to my children, everything that I do, I consult with God. We are in a relationship. That is my first relationship. We have that first. That's where I take the depths of my heart. That's where I take my mind. That's where I take my soul. What good is your body without a heart? What good is your spirit without a soul, right? I take all these things first. It is the foundation of everything. I take it there. I conversate with him. I don't care how y'all. If I tell you the depths of our conversation, there is nothing I don't keep from him. There is no subject in my life that is off limit for God. I don't care from down to the children, to the person I lay down with. There is no subject that is off limits, right? because the foundation has to be set. God is love. That is a segment today. God is love. If God is your foundation, no matter what you want to do in life, no matter where you go, no matter where you've been through the struggles. I done seen divorce, I done seen cancer, I done seen being homeless, I done seen living in shelters, I done seen good traveling. I've done a lot of things, I've experienced a lot of things. So just as much as I've seen hard times, I have experienced good. I'm not going to make it seem like my life was just hard all the way around. No, I've experienced a lot of good, right? But at the end of the day, all the stuff that I did, all the stuff that I was going through didn't really add up to what is true, to add up to what I'm experiencing through God. Nobody can't take it. Nobody can take credit for it. Nobody can hold it over my head. Everything is attached to peace. It's attached to a blessing. So I feel like it's only right that I share the good news. I feel like it's only right that I tell you that no matter where you are in life, that you don't have to be what you were yesterday. Going to a place, for me, my transition, y'all, I went into a place where I was just like, God, I want to do this right. I want my foundation to be with you. I want to take everything that broke me, take everything that made this image that I'm living in, that I'm trying to navigate, and become who you want me to be. I went to that place, and when I got to that place, I found the definition. I made sure that my grounds were solid. I took my definition, I took his definition. Everything that I learned, I gave it to him, and he taught me what is true and what was just an illusion. I pray that you will step into your calling, that you will step into a place where you are at peace, where you can experience love firsthand, so that the hurt that you've been through, the things that are weighing you down, the things that make you feel like your goals and your dreams are out of reach will come tumbling down. That stronghold will come tumbling down, and that you will be able to take charge of your destiny, take charge of your identity, become who you are supposed to be, and that everything else would only be a part of your testimony. As you're going to need it. It'll become a testimony and help you to continue to grow God's kingdom, help you to continue to break down generational curses, that you'll not just be a generational curse breaker, but a generational wealth carrier. Listen, y'all, I love you guys. This is Lifestyle Podcast. This series is called The Reset. I pray that you know that you are loved, you are blessed, that you are wanted, and I will see you guys soon.